of the painful circumcision of our Redeemer. 12th title and contemplation. O cruel crime! O poor criminal! O guarantee! My God, my love, must it be true, my dear life, that one who acts as an advocate for someone should pay his bail? Alas, yes, where the poor creditor or criminal has not the means. Oh, love, 1,000,000 times excessive, is it true, but is it really possible that you should have wished to bail out criminal men at so great a price? Oh God, how your love and your goodness are profound abysses in yourself to the secret and most intimate part of yourself. No, it is yet really otherwise and something else altogether. It is all these inconceivable and impenetrable abysses that have gone forth, what am I saying, have even gone forth doubly, to the manifestation and vision of men, so that, as for you, O sacred Trinity, you have drawn all and exhausted all your power outside of you, without, however, for all that, being less rich, less powerful, less accomplished in your all-infinite infinity, for having spent your love on men and for men. What is there to say, and what can one say to that? Behold, God made man for men. Behold, God humiliated for the pride of men. Behold, God condemned with absolute rigor to justify men. Yes, God is condemned with absolute rigor to the point of suffering and dying, suffering and taking upon himself the rigor of his just law, made and ordained in times past by him for men who were his friends, to mark them with a seal, by which he can recognize them and receive them as his people. Ah, eternal God, what is this? What fervors, what effects, and what efforts are these? But what love, what prodigies, and what abysses, to see you, from the beginning of your birth, enter into payment and satisfaction to God your Father, of my debts and of my ransom, and of us all who have this happiness to belong to you as your most intimate friends and dearest elect. Ah, my dear life, my dear love, what is this? Every concept flees from me at so prodigious a sight, and I would like not to speak of it at all and to keep quiet about it forever, rather than to speak of it so basely, so minimally, and from so far away. Alas, my love, how much better would the concepts and languages of the angels, and even of the seraphim, be employed to this effect than that which is nothing, has nothing, and can do nothing, like myself along with all the rest of humanity. But, my love, if it could happen, which is far from possible, that your sacred mother should not have any such part in your sorrows as she did have, these concepts and these words would be truly well employed by her. Because she was enamored of you, among and above creatures, it would justly be she to whom this office would be suitable and would very well belong, to speak, I say, to angels and to men, and to every creature of your infinite grandeur as infinite God, of your greatness and littleness among men, as God and man, of your littleness, of your annihilation, of your sorrows from this point onward, and already here and now in love, and for excessive love of men. But, my God, my love, this poor virgin is as much worthy of compassion as you are, over this dreadful sight. And I know not which of the two I ought to lament more, for or over the equally excessive and reciprocal sorrows of both, if I am not mistaken. For your part, my love, you are afflicted in body and soul, but your sacred mother languishes with an inconceivable, I mean in an inconceivable sorrow of spirit and of heart, seeing you suffer so very much in your body, which you do in this case in the time of your most tender infancy, for the love, redemption, and eternal salvation of criminal men by the majesty of God your Father, of you, and of the very Holy Spirit, who all took interest in the crime and in the redemption of men. That is the cause for which you pour out blood today in great enough abundance, even for the redemption of multiple worlds, by the effort and the wound with which your infinite love afflicts you through men to whom this wound must give the remedy. Ah, my love and my life, it is most necessary for you to pass on elsewhere. This is only a little torrent with respect to the profound and entire sea of sorrows and afflictions that you must someday entirely traverse. Your mother, meanwhile, is very lamentable and worthy of compassion, she to whom you are more the life and the soul than are the life and the soul that vivify her. Yes, you are more the soul that animates her and the life that vivifies her than are her own soul and her own life. This makes her sorrows powerfully similar to yours. O precious blood, O precious tears, O bitter sorrow, but precious, O inconceivable torment in two reciprocal lovers, which natural love, reasonable and divine, even superdivine, so uniquely and intimately made his own. O salutary medicine, sufficient, indeed more than sufficient to emancipate slaves from servitude, to absolve criminals entirely of all their crimes, to resurrect the dead, to kill death and deprive it of its present and future and even eternal prey. It is all that, my love, that we revere in you and your mother presently, as yourselves, seeing all that come forth from your heart inflamed as by the ardent furnace of your infinite love. Ah, my love and my life, if all ended there, we could yet take some breath to console ourselves a bit. But, O good God, seeing that these are only the down payment, in a manner of speaking, that your love gives us of our salvation and redemption in so sorrowful and so rigorous an effect, our affliction and our just sorrow cannot be abated. But on the contrary, in the compassion we feel for your present sufferings, which pierces our heart with 1,000 mortal wounds, if you did not preserve us from it, we would see and anticipate in this piteous spectacle that which is all present to you, as if it had already happened to you, and for that matter to us. I mean that it is present to us also as it is to you, to afflict us and to sadden us justly. It is the sea of your infinite sorrows, throughout all the time of your inconceivable passion. What is this, my love? To whom shall we have recourse in this to receive some relief from our pains and our loving anguish? The unhappy men, who seem to have been created only to offend you and to afflict you and to wound and torment you with such bloody cruelty as they did, without worrying about it in the least? On the contrary, they push you to the bottom of an abyss of torments, and that which the best among them, maybe even your friends, do to you by justice, sinners, some time after this, will do to you with a cruelty and barbarian, very inhuman and very implacable, not ceasing the effect of their accursed rage, if they have not reduced you to death, upon the very bloody altar of the cross. It is that, my love and my life, which so justly afflicts us and constrains us to weep blood over it in infinite regret and sorrow. It is this by which we are very firmly and forever stunned, seized with infinite admiration and astonishment at the sight of so sorrowful, so fatal, and so dreadful a spectacle. Oh goodness, my love, behold you bearing the mark of slaves and criminals without those who will not wish to know you as someone else altogether, namely true God and true man, because of your abasement, of your pains and miseries, of your afflictions and languor, being willing to confess you or to believe you to be other than a criminal. What is that? It is at this sight so prodigious that every good creature fails in heaven as well as on earth. And in fact, O God, my love, we would not know how to sustain in ourselves, I mean in our languor of spirit, so very many sorrows and miseries which the effusion of your precious blood accompanies and testifies to very largely and profusely, without dying and totally giving up on life, if your majesty does not at least help us, sustain us, and preserve us from it, so as, in the strength of your infinite love and spirit, to do our best by a wholly other and stronger life in us, in our works, in our sufferings, to conform ourselves according to all that, to your living image in us, representing to ourselves vividly in all our life, and with our whole selves, all your sorrowful life, your afflictions, your passion, and your wounds. Beginning this enterprise and practice, awaiting the all which will come to be in its time ordained and fixed in advance by God our Father and by you. This is that of which we find ourselves in need, my dear love and my dear life. It is also that which we hope to receive from your infinite goodness, to be able, duly, with discernment, and as we ought, to employ ourselves generously with our whole selves and faithfully, in such an important practice as this, and to consume ourselves in it entirely, within the ardent furnace of your infinite and eternal love. But if there is anything here to cry about and lament, there is also something to rejoice in, so that we others need not be fixated always nor incessantly within the works and effects of your infinite love. These captivate us so much in the totality of ourselves, in such prodigious seeing and contemplation, and at the profound sentiments that we have over them, that we would wish never to come out of them. So vivid and penetrating are the impressions that they make in us. But, since it does not befit us to remain always therein, although this may have been done very well, it is very suitable and very expedient that, from this, we should take flight again unto the source and cause of so many works, so prodigious and so admirable. Or that is unto your love which made them and caused them, which will make them and produce them for all the world, always and more, so as gently and freely to constrain men, your predestined elect, to love you more than themselves and all created things. In this there is an unspeakable gradation and disposition on the part of these same men, and of different graces, movements, means and ways of yours, totally eternally ordained to salvation. It is that, my dear love, it is that which we admire and contemplate as yourself, from whom surges forth, for our infinite advantage, all this eternal sea of eternal and infinite love. Now, it is impossible that, contemplating and penetrating this love so immense and so profound in its own source, which you are, my love and my life, and the flow spilling over by its effects, so strong, so wide, and so rapid in itself and outside to drag all rapidly of itself and into itself, it is, I say, impossible that we should not be totally wounded by the fiery gash of love, which makes by itself in us hunger, thirst, heat, and languor of love, within all the infinite immensity of all. The fire of the same love, which is yourself and all yourself, my love and my life. For if we are above that, one can say and believe that love has made us die, by dint of flowing from it into it. In this way, it is there that we must remain enclosed, fixed according to the height, depth, length, and breadth of all our simple constitution therein, where and in which we are reduced in the totality of yourself beyond all unity. Where it is necessary for us to contemplate of ourselves into the totality of yourself, above all penetration in a very simple glance that makes unitive and rejoicing love, which renders and constitutes us immobile in the totality of yourself impenetrable and out of reach. This is where it is necessary for us to remain such without moving or inciting ourselves outwardly over this or that one of your loving manifestations, given that whoever is so lost and so full within must not go outside to life and to research, but much better focused than the generous eagles are at the sight of the sun, in the activity and lightness of their flight, looking at it and contemplating it freely without shifting their gaze. In the same way, we must see you incessantly and enjoy the God of love and of all perfection that you are, above all fluid and sensible perfection. So it is that, since you have really emancipated us from everything, above everything, and lost us in the totality of your superessence, due to our whole selves being plunged lovingly into it, for that reason, fixed, to see and contemplate you always equally in all fullness and objective fruition, as much as we can and in the manner that we can in this life, conformably to that which we have said before this and elsewhere. Now, although the high and deep speculations may be greatly inferior to this and to its act, nonetheless, it is not improper to display them or see them at a suitable time, not for the sake of feeling, nor seeing, nor searching, but in order to see and know ourselves always better, but especially so as not to be ignorant nor blinded within ourselves. For as we do not perceive what we owe to you because we see and perceive simplistically, and so we would not stop emancipating ourselves within the wide liberty of the senses, if we did not sometimes see this and other similar things conform to the most infinite effects of your infinite love, the effects of which we do not admire less than the love itself, well comprehended. Yes, my love and my life, it is of infinite import to see and contemplate your love infinitely above these effects and within its same effects. For one who does not do this and who is not elevated to this in the entire loss and abandonment of self does not know you and is scarcely familiar with anything of you. The reason for this is that he does enter into you with eyes closed as is necessary, in order to lose himself irretrievably in your sheer love, which is not the work of a day, in truth, but of many years. More or less, however, according to what it pleases you to do in your poor creature. Now, it is in all this love and of this love, I mean of its effects manifested to the infinite degree, that we rejoice in the same eternity, without consideration of this nor of that, purely because you are God, Savior of men, whom you have so well acquired in the effect of your love itself.